You know, genuine patriotic Australians have often asked me the question, how do we identify, how do we find the truly reliable and great Australian leaders that I often talk about, that Australia needs right now? I honour those who ask this question because clearly they don't want to waste our time and resources putting our weight and support behind the wrong type of people. You know, and we've seen far too much of that. We're so disillusioned with leadership. So let's look at the question, how do we find the right people to lead our patriotic movement and to lead Australia back to a place of security and prosperity for our kids again? What are the keys? I'm going to address that right here. I'm going to give you some really direct and really clear ideas because it does seem that we struggle. We really struggle to identify true leadership. It's not that there's a lack of it, but how do we find the ones that we can count on? Donald Horne, the author of The Lucky Country, wrote this: Australia is a lucky country run mainly by second-rate people who share its luck. It lives on other people's ideas, and although its ordinary people are adaptable, most of its leaders in all fields so lack curiosity about the events that surround them that they are often taken by surprise. Horne reckoned Australia's climb to power and wealth was luck, rather than its second-rate political or economic system. If you look at our government today, our luck's run out with the type of people that we've got in our major political parties. There is no argument. Australia is now desperate for decent patriotic leadership. Globalism, which is the puppet behind all our political major parties, it's pulling all their strings, is all about the engineered betrayal of the Australian nationalism and independence and the undermining of the strength of nations. They recruit and train manipulative, ambitious, willing traitors and send them off for perhaps a Rhodes Scholarship to educate them in their strategies and their plans. Controllers and manipulators are betrayers, and this is who we want to avoid. That's why I'm talking about it here. They're traitors to their allies and to their dependents. They are also ambitious. Their manipulative skills and their self-preservation instincts will cover their dirty tracks and excuse their own behaviour very effectively. But ask the hard questions, and their close associates over time will reveal to you their betrayal. You will find that they are not loyal at any cost. They're not that type of people. Have a look at their past. Ask some challenging questions of the people close to them or in their background, people that have known them for a long time or knew of them back in the day. How do we find great leaders? The identifiable characteristic of great leaders is this thing. It is loyalty. Remember that. I discussed this in detail in my last book, Who Will Lead Us? Australia's Patriotic Revival, where I compare controllers and manipulators and their betrayal trait with true leadership and its loyalty trait. Loyalty. I've decided that this essential human quality may be the very thing that has ensured that Australia has very few decent leaders in political power today, which is an interesting anomaly, isn't it? And this is why our loyalty has worked against us as a nation. You see, the first priority of a loyal man or woman, and therefore of a loyal leader, will be their immediate family and those who are dependent on them, their children in particular. Therefore, they are likely to look at Australia's corrupt politics as presented in the media, or they'll even look at corruption in business, and they'll decide that their love and loyalty to their family comes a long way before this. And so they'll stay out of it, and that's what's happened in Australia. Of course, the manipulators and controllers have dissuaded and discouraged the involvement of truly loyal Australians in leadership, and they've set up a system that keeps you well and truly outside. That's what's got to change, and that's what the patriotic movement in Australia is all about right now. The love for their family easily wins the pull of loyal people, on the hearts of loyal people. Our loyal types have avoided politics and national leadership for obvious reasons. Now you have to find that rare individual who realises that their love for their nation of Australia is equally important to their love for their kids, and efforts to strengthen and secure their nation, this national home of theirs, is the legacy that we owe to our children that we love. And therefore we must stand up and we must get involved. After years of complacency, the escalating threats to Australia's future are now driving loyal Australian fathers and mothers to the patriotic movement in Australia. The loyal type must stand up and must lead Australia. Is that you? Then please hear my call. In America, Infowars.com interviewer Alex Jones said this recently, and I've adapted it to Australianise it. I believe this 100%. And this is a quote from an interviewer with a guy who was considering entering Congress in America because he was sick of what the globalists and the corruption were doing to his country. This applies to Australia. We'll start getting people that aren't just lawyers, but investigative journalists, educators, authors, doctors, scientists, police officers, veterans, you name it, into leadership. That's what we need. Farmers, engineers, anybody. Genuine Australian people. We all need to get involved. We have these elites running with all their money and all their control, and they'll probably tell you that you can't write. You can't have your own website or TV or radio show. But then they can control it all, and the government too. They're trying to shut down the alternative media, especially those with alternative political views. In Australia we have Andrew Bolt and Paul Murray, and I believe with all my heart, with everything that I see, that Australia needs new independent alternative media to get the word of the patriots, get the truth about Australia and the will of Australians out there, to reach the bulk of the Australian population, to get them away from mainstream media and show them the realities of Australia and show them the true heart of the patriotic movement, which just wants this country to be great and secure and peaceful for our country. That we do have great ideas, great reasons and good reasons for the beliefs that we hold, the traditional and conservative things that we support. That this country doesn't need to stay conservative for conservatism's sake. It needs to have conservatism and great traditions, proven traditions on it, so that we can become a great nation and achieve tremendous potential for the benefit of ourselves and for our people, for our kids, and for the rest of the world. We've got a lot to offer, but only with good leadership will we achieve what Australia has to offer. They're ongoing with the quote, "There is a war on alternative media. Let's fight back and take Parliament." I hope our other patriots and ordinary citizens will say, I can do this too. Everyone who's a patriot has to be willing to have a go. Don't say someone should do it. Say maybe I should do it. Our government is not what it used to be. It's not what our founding fathers and those who wrote our Constitution intended. Of course, our Constitution has been set aside. Instead, the globalists have turned our constitutional Australia and its government into a vicious monster, which is the enemy of the people of Australia and of Australia's good future. We have to tame that monster and return to the constitutional nation that our founders intended. So, if you want to identify a likely, genuine Australian leader, have a close look at their demonstrated loyalty to the people that need them most. Their children and their family, their co-workers and neighbours, to their close associates in business or in the community. Go and ask them, find out from them. And if you find loyalty, then you may well be looking at someone worthy of your support as a leader. Did I say look for the perfect family? Not likely today. As a single parent following divorce, I am quick to caution you right here. I did not tell you to look for people with the Brady Bunch or the perfect family. Unfortunately, that's not a common reality in Australia anymore because of the Family Law Act brought in 1975 under Whitlam and because of other pressures on the Australian family and the actions of the court. I said look closely at people's demonstrated loyalty to those they love, typically to their children. The realities are here are often maligned and misconstrued after separation and divorce in Australia. Believe me. Look hard for evidence of true loyalty, even sacrifice, because that is the true leadership trait Australia needs right now. In fact, the saying goes, hard times create strong men. And I'll leave it at that. It goes on from there. But not all our great leaders and our loyal people have had an easy trot in the Australian system that has gone on a tremendous downhill run over enough decades now to have created hard times and strong leadership in many Australians. Don't look for the perfect situation. Look for loyalty in spite of hardship often. Look for loyalty anyway. If Australia right now and the Australian patriotic movement needs anything, it is commitment and it is loyalty. I believe that we will find our leaders as we give serious consideration to people with unconventional ideas to solve Australia's corrupt leadership dilemma. As we engage and inform new people, new sections of our society, and certainly as we make efforts to unify with fellow patriots and concerned Australians. Sift out the control freaks and the egotists who have a knack for controlling every meeting and for splitting groups. Don't be so easily impressed by people who proclaim themselves to be leaders or by money or position. Look for those who do the job, often quietly. Look for those whose actions set an example. Look for those who earn your respect and trust. Look past the suit, if they wear one. Look for real committed, trustworthy, strong, loyal men and loyal women. Would they help you if you were in a spot? Real leaders care about their people first. Their strength as a leader is their people, and they know it. Their priority is their people and those who depend on them, and they know it. They don't use their people. They love and care about them. They are loyal. And here's a great example from Australia's history. World War I, wartime loyalty, General Sir John Monash and his Anzacs, our Anzacs. Australia's fighting men in the frontline trenches in decisive World War I battle, in the Battle of Amiens, were served hot meals organised by Lieutenant General John Monash. He didn't need to do that, but he loved those Anzac men that he led. And he recognised and honoured their trust, their willingness and their sacrifice with a hot meal in frontline trenches. Give that some thought. Manipulators will always tell you that they are loyal, but loyalty is demonstrated. If you look closely, you will find the evidence. Value it, because many don't today. If we can rebuild and demonstrate loyalty and therefore growing unity in our patriotic movement, mateship will be restored to Australia, and then we will win. Or we will die valiantly an honourable death trying. Who will resist us if we are loyal and unified? Find loyalty, honour loyalty in others. Be loyal to your fellow patriots. Let the backbiters go. They'll run straight back to politics. Then we will have the loyal leaders that we need and the loyal supporters. And so will Australia. There are lots of sleeping giants in Australia. You may be one of them. Look out for them as you continue the fight for Australia. Stop thinking our leader is someone somewhere else. Australian leaders just need practice. They're hidden all around you. They're not in Canberra. Be patient and keep going forward. Help each other. Recruit new patriots. Lead yourself. But make some inquiries and look into the loyalty of the people that you're going to support. If it's there, you're on the right track. Not their money, not their influence, and not their good personal reports or their bank account. This toddler nation needs to get to its own feet. History tells us that great leaders, including great Australian leaders, do the unexpected very well. And they can turn situations around, mainly by inspiring commitment and unity of the people that they love. If us decent Australians get involved, our history tells us we will find a way to win. We will work it out, and work it out very, very well. That is Australia. It's in our DNA, it's in our history, and it'll be in our future, with loyal leaders and loyal supporters. Mateship. Independence, responsibility, commitment, loyalty, and mateship for Australia. If you are naturally loyal, at a grassroots level, join me for Australia's sake. Join the patriotic revival of Australia and give it all you got, because Australia is worth it. It's worth it for us, it's worth it for our kids, and it's worth it for what Australia uniquely can offer this world. Thanks.